the mother-in-law quietly sneaked into her daughter-in-law's room. Then, taking advantage of the moment when no one was around, she swapped the lubricant in the cabinet with strong adhesive glue. She also secretly placed a camera in a vase. Just thinking about the scene where her daughter-in-law and son would get stuck, she couldn't help but let out a sound of amusement. The reason she was doing all this was because, in her past life, she had come home from grocery shopping and accidentally discovered her daughter-in-law with her lover in the room, doing something unforgivable to her son. Not daring to waste any time, she immediately called her son. However, when her son came home, instead of suspecting his wife, he accused his mother of falsely accusing his wife without any evidence. The daughter-in-law, adding fuel to the fire, started complaining, saying that ever since she married into this family, her mother-in-law had always been dissatisfied with her, and now she was using her own innocence to intentionally ruin their marriage. She then threatened to leave the sorrowful home, saying she would die if she had to stay. The father-in-law even slapped his wife twice, thinking that the woman was insulting his daughter-in-law. What he didn't know was that the 2 slaps triggered the mother's heart disease, but the son didn't offer any comfort to his mother. Instead, he angrily scolded her for causing trouble. He then turned to see his wife crying. He immediately warned his mother, who was suffering from a heart attack, that if she ever bullied his wife again, he would sever all ties with her. He even threatened to throw her out, leaving her to live alone and die in loneliness. Hearing this, the mother's heart attack worsened. Panicking, she took out her life-saving pills but accidentally dropped them on the floor. The daughter-in-law, seeing this, kicked the pills away. The son was about to pick them up, but his wife threatened him. She said if he gave the pills to his mother, she would divorce him. In order to please his wife, the man discarded the pills. At that moment, the mother realized that her son had forgotten her now that he had a wife. She knew her time was short. If she could live again, she would make sure they would not have an easy life. Perhaps out of pity from heaven, the woman was reborn on the same day her daughter-in-law had an affair. In her past life, she had suffered from not having any proof of her daughter-in-law's infidelity, and had been driven to death by her ungrateful son and daughter-in-law. In this life, she was determined to give her daughter-in-law a lifelong unforgettable experience. So she secretly went to her daughter-in-law's room and replaced the lubricant. Then she filled every corner of the room with cameras. After everything was set up, she pretended to tell her daughter-in-law she was going to the countryside to buy groceries and might be late. The daughter-in-law, upon hearing this, was overjoyed, thinking she could meet her lover again that day. Little did she know, she had already fallen into the trap her mother-in-law had set. Sure enough, not long after the mother-in-law left, the cameras showed the lover arriving at the house. Seizing the opportunity, the mother-in-law immediately called her son-in-law, telling him that it was the wedding anniversary of his son and daughter-in-law, and asked them to come home and celebrate. As soon as she hung up the phone, the daughter-in-law was already in a panic, stuck by the strong glue. To delay time, she immediately called her mother-in-law, lying that there was a fire at home and asking her not to return. The mother-in-law, upon hearing this, quickly called the fire department and the police, and also contacted her son, asking him to hurry home to save his wife. The son-in-law, after learning the situation, rushed home, but found that the door wouldn't open. At that moment, both of them were afraid of being exposed, so they pressed against the door tightly.